Hi everyone, my name is Tim. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me here for part 3 of recording on no budget. There's been a minor change since the last episode. The studio by the front window has now moved to a new location. Its new address is now the studio next to the front window. It was a big move. Okay, so it's been a couple of weeks since I posted anything. Real life intervened and slowed me down from getting stuff done the way I wanted to, so real life happens. But we're back today. We're going to work on the bass guitar for Cold and Lonely Nights. So let's dive in and take a look at what I got going on here. All right, over here in Reaper, we are looking at something called Amplitube P2 Lite. It's a free VST plugin that emulates a bass guitar. Now, why would I want to do that when I've got a bass guitar right here? Well, sometimes you're not always where you can get a bass out and set everything up and record, and you got ideas in your head, and all you got is your laptop. So this helps me out in that regard. It helps me kind of get things together, plan out lines without sitting for hours noodling on a bass and having the headstock in my wife's face and her getting angry and, you know, just things not going well in that regard. So I use this guy here. I make a MIDI track and it sounds not like 100% like a real bass, but it does allow me to use Amplitube, which I'm going to be running my real bass through anyway, so that way I can kind of keep the same bass tone and keep that vibe going when I'm creating the lines. Let's close the interface here and give you a look at what this sounds like. Okay, so it sounds kind of like a real bass, but when I get to like the real staccato line, bup, 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 it doesn't have a very natural feel to it all. I'm sure if I worked on it for a while, I could get a more natural flow kind of sound out of it, but I'm not really using it for that anyways. This is just to give me some ideas what I want to actually play when I go to record here in just a little bit. So that is basically another guide track. Remember earlier on I had the guide track with the synth. Now I've kind of changed that out for a bass so that I can start really constructing my bass guitar part. So that's a free instrument you guys can go and download. I'm going to put a link down below to it. Also, the big thing I wanted to talk about this week is, now I talked about Amplitube before. Amplitube has a free version, the Amplitube 4 version. If you go on IK Multimedia's site and you download the custom shop, you get a free version of Amplitube that comes with a limited amount of amplifiers and cabinets and microphones and pedals and rack gear. It's not a whole bunch of stuff. I think they said it's 24 pieces of gear total, which if you're talking multiple amps and multiple cabinets and multiples of everything, you're only getting a handful of each thing. But they're actually really useful. And what I wanted to show you here today, look at this, what I've got up in front of us here. This is the Amplitube SVX Pro. This is a bass amplifier. Now the free version of Amplitube comes with one bass amp. And it is an SVX, I believe an SVX. But you're only limited to that one bass amp for playing bass guitar through. Now, what I have found over the last few months while we've all been in COVID quarantine and whatnot is that IK Multimedia has been kind of sprinkling some freebies here and there. Several months ago, I saw it like the day after it expired. They had their orange Tiny Terror head model that they gave away for free. Normally that's one of their higher package pay for add-ons for Amplitube. But then a couple of weeks later they had the metal pack, which is usually a $100 add-on pack. All I had to do was sign up for their newsletter. I got the metal pack for free. that's in here now. And then just a couple of weeks ago, I found they were giving away the SVX Pack. It's another $100 package that they gave away for free. And so now I've got that. So again, recording with no budget, keep your eye on the interwebs. You can find deals when the big guys give away their freebies. And so that's what I've gotten. I've gotten over $200 of software add-ons for nothing. All I had to do was give my email twice. I signed up. The first time it was to sign up for their newsletter. They gave you a free copy of the metal pack. Then they had a special with another website called Audio Plugins. And if you purchased it through their link, it was free. So keep your eye out. You can find lots of great deals. I decided to go ahead and use the SVX Pro amp for our bass setup. And here are the settings we're looking at there. Let me go over here to the stomps. I really like adding a compressor because I'm all over the place with my fingers. I do not have an even picking pressure. It's always do 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 do. One finger is very much dominant over the other. Compressor pedal helps me to even that out. I also like the diode overdrive, but you turn the distortion and the level down on it so that it's just breaking up a little bit. Gives you that real nice mid-rangey kind of John Entwistle kind of bass sound. Listen to it again. Very mid-range sound. Okay. Now that's what I've done to give me a guide track and kind of plan out my ideas. You can see here in Reaper, let me close out of Amplitube and unmute what I had here on the bass. This track that I've got the red effects on now, I went ahead and removed Amplitube from the signal chain because a couple instances of it was kind of bogging my computer down. But you can see I already did four, it looks like 4 takes of the bass track, and I wasn't real happy with it. It was basically just the same old bass line that I've heard for 30 odd years now. So I decided to take a little bit of time and kind of recompose it, give it some space, give the instrument some space for other instruments to do things in there. Let's jump up here to the first verse and I can show you what I did there. VST version I did. Now here is just the main bass line that I recorded. Just straight 8th notes pretty much. Except where that one cymbal hit is. But just 8th note. And I already discussed that to me that is just boring. So what I did instead, let's mute that and switch back to the Bass Ideas track I created here. And this is what I decided to do with that Ample Bass plugin, just to try and give it a little bit of variation, a little bit more melodic interest, a little more rhythmic interest. So here's what I got. And I do kind of go back to that 8th note feel right there at the end to build up into the chorus, kind of give it some drive to get up there. But I thought that line has a lot more interest to me. So that's what I'm going to actually recreate when I go to record the bass part here in a minute. Okay, so another thing I talked about in my last video was that I'm going to need to come up with a little bit of money to get my DistroKid distribution route set up and to register a domain name when I put up a web page. And I was using an app on my phone that lets me take surveys and gives me a few pennies each time I do that. I'm up to $12.50 so far on there, $12.50, and I set my goal at $21 to be able to do the DistroKid sign up and the domain name registration. So we're over halfway there. Hopefully by the time I get all this done, then we'll be ready to pay our dues and get everything submitted. Okay, now I am going to go ahead and try to record. I talked about this bass a little bit in the last video, but I'm going to go over it again here just in case people haven't watched that one. This is my CA House bass. CA House is a local music store here where I live in Southeast Ohio. They got a couple of locations near here, and they have, or had a few years ago, their own branded bass. It's you know, it's a cheapie. Not gonna lie about that. It cost me, I think it was like $129 brand new. But this is a pretty faithful Fender Precision Bass clone. I mean, the bridge looks very similar. The pickup style is similar. Knobs, the layout of everything. I mean, it's almost identical. While I was in the store the day I went shopping for this thing, I decided, you know, let's pick up the cheapest bass and see how it sounds. And that was this one. Then I took it over to the Fender wall where I started grabbing Squiers and actual Fenders and compared it against other P basses. And it held up surprisingly well. The sound was remarkably similar until I got up to like the $800 bass guitars. That was when I started hearing a real marked difference in the sound. There were some minor differences in pickups and necks in the lower priced models of the Fenders. Some were a little better, but not significantly, you know? They were just like a little bit different, not really worth the money. It was only when I got up to about the $800 range that I thought, okay, now that's obviously an instrument worth paying a lot more for. But this was $129, so low budget. Got my own line already. There we go. What am I doing different there? Oh, that was terrible. That still doesn't sound right. That's the difference. Okay. And let's just Control Z right out of that, right off the bat. Holy crap, Tim, learn how to play this thing. Nope. I'm not reaching up to that 5th fret very well, so I should probably stay down here on the open string. Do that with the middle finger, maybe. Ooh, boy, that stunk. Right off the bat, terrible. Dang it. Staying on the F sharp when I should go to the G. Now I can't get my right hand to work. Went to the A instead of the G. Holy crap. Just let that one play through. Terrible. Even doing? Dang it. So close. I gotta be able to comp something together out of all that. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna save it. All right, so that is the bass guitar. For now, I may go back and tweak some parts after I get back and listen to it a little more closely. It's always different listening when you're listening back than when listening when you're playing. You hear stuff that you didn't notice while you were playing, things that I might be able to tweak in the mix or things that I may have to go back and record. We're gonna have to wait and see. Next time, hopefully, we're gonna get down to laying down some guitars, and maybe I'll show you guys some stuff about website, or maybe we'll get closer to signing up for DistroKid and I can walk you through that process. I don't know. This is kind of all, I'm making it up as I go along. All right, if you have not already hit the subscribe link there, please go ahead and hit that for me and hit the like button. That lets me know that you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, and I can go ahead and keep making more and more stuff for you. If you got any comments you want to leave me, please throw those down below. I read everything. I try to respond as much as I can. The faster I get this channel up to that 1,000 subscriber mark where we can start talking about a little bit of monetization, then maybe, you know, we don't have to worry about answering surveys to pay for distribution, and the music hobby becomes a music career and it pays for itself. I may not be able to retire on it, but at least I can keep making more and more music, and I can only do that with your guys' help. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.